Good morning, folks. Brian here, Geomagnetic Earth Watch, Monday, August 18, 2025. It's time for a daily report. However, I'm going to start off with this news article. In my opinion, this is just a psychological conditioning or a distraction or a combination of both. Let's just give it a listen here.
A Harvard scientist is urging world leaders to prepare for possible contact with alien technology. The reason? An object named 3I Atlas, discovered on July 1st by a NASA-funded telescope in Chile, appears to have come from outside our solar system. It's been confirmed as an interstellar object due to its hyperbolic orbit, meaning it's not bound by the sun's gravity. In other words, it's just passing through. NASA says there's no danger to Earth. At its closest, 3I Atlas will still be about 170 million miles away, but its origin and unusual motion have sparked global interest. One voice standing out is Professor Avi Loeb. He believes this object could be more than a comet. Why? For starters, it's larger than most comets, and instead of trailing a glowing tail like normal space rocks, it seems to emit light from the front, a detail Loeb says might suggest an artificial source. Speaking to New Nation, Loeb urged world governments to take the UFO phenomenon more seriously. He proposed forming an international body dedicated to responding to unidentified aerial and space objects, just like we prepare for other global threats such as artificial intelligence, climate change, and asteroids. Loeb compared the situation to finding a stranger in your backyard. Before you react, you need to understand their intent. Are they just passing by, or are they here for a reason? NASA says 3I Atlas will remain visible to ground-based telescopes through September, then it will pass behind the sun, and by early December it's expected to reappear for further study. Because of its speed and trajectory, scientists are confident this object came from deep space and will eventually head back the same way. I'm me from Dagans.com. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow us for more news that matters.
So this NASA-funded telescope in Chile, it is believed that that is the one that was made there and put there specifically to monitor the approach of the Planet X system. Anyway, let's carry on. Start off with our heat detections. So off the coast of Kamchatka, there's a new heat detection right here. Let's see if I can get this. Yeah, there we go. This was the other day. So some may remember, most probably won't. Before the 8.8 earthquake here, I did a report of an extensive heat spread throughout the Kamchatka Peninsula, more than just the regular volcanoes, always in eruptive state, but continuing down here and even up to here. That was shortly after some heat detections in the Curl Island Trench. Obviously magma related, so we had a series of earthquakes here along with some heat detections. Then Kamchatka started lighting up, and then we had the large 8.8 earthquake. Continuing. I'm going to do a past 7 days. Here we go. More than there usually is here off the coast of Mozambique. The two earthquakes here off the coast of Africa are not regular. Off the coast of Mexico and Central America, we have a couple of detection points, one at the subduction zone. And this looks like 2. So in previous days, we had some heat detection points here. Inland waters of San Francisco, Cal Fire has one confirmed fire. Let's do 7 days. So they had a confirmed fire, this one up here. However, there were some additional heat detection points, including in the neighborhood here, which were not the Cal Fire. We're going to leave the Puerto Rico situation to the end of this report. Let's carry on with check our ocean water temperatures. Here in the Persian Gulf is the hottest at 35 degrees Celsius. And of course, off the coast of Mexico, inside their Gulf, and extending out just below Bermuda. Let's take a look at our jet streams. I'm going to start off in the southern hemisphere. And one thing I'm going to tell you, so we have 4 jet streams, 2 polar, 2 subtropical, but there's actually a 5th equatorial, which runs in the opposite direction. And these vortices are getting, there's more of them and larger. Earthquakes, so this is the global incident map. They do not count for all earthquakes. Now finally, let's get into the Puerto Rico region. So Hurricane Aaron track, they've been changing the intensity. It's funny because this was a Category 5 here before. Okay, up here, 17. Now, I've said, let's expect a seismic and volcanic responses possibly along the Puerto Rico Trench up until this area, back to here, and possibly down the volcanic arc of islands. So thus far, we've already had 3 earthquakes right here at the bottom end of the trench, magnitude 3 pluses. And just recently we actually had a 3.5 around here at 105 kilometers depth this morning. And now we have a sulfur dioxide emission from I would say it's from Soufriere Hills. Or the general area. So 3 magnitude 3 earthquakes here, a deep one here, and SO2 emissions so far. Speaking of sulfur dioxide, well, 2 patches. I don't know where the point of origin is, so I can only go back to midnight. So one here off the southern coast of Australia, and then one here. We can look at our wind pattern here. So this one originated from possibly from one of these chains of submarine volcanoes, in which I think that so yes, I know there's lots of news reports that satellites are going down. They're losing the satellites. Solar wind speeds are currently 359 kilometers per second, which is not all that fast. We have no buoys in motion. This one here at the entrance of the Timor Sea into the Indian Ocean twice last week went into event mode. And we actually have two earthquakes here. Both are 4.8 at 10 kilometers depth. So one final thing, folks, again, since there's always new people here. The reason why a lot of earthquakes are reported at 10 kilometers depth is if they do not have enough seismic data for an accurate reading on the depth, 10 kilometers is simply an automatic default setting. It used to be 33 kilometers. They changed it to 10 kilometers. There's nothing nefarious about it. There's no underground tunnels. They can't go down that deep. It is an automatic default setting when they do not have enough seismic information for an accurate depth reporting. That is all it is. Period. Look it up. Google it. Why are earthquakes reported at 10 kilometers depth? And you will find the explanation. That will be all.